All right, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Shout out to All Asian Dilemmas. Oh, I got a juicy one. Yeah, young Asian women will call you God if you buy her a meal. And depending on your negotiation skills, you might even get some extras. I'm not promoting nothing here, but I'm telling you what to expect as an expat if you guys are traveling to these countries. And it's not just in Japan, it's in other Asian countries as well. But the downfall of this is not only is it tricking, but these women tend to be underage, so you better check for ID. Anyway, let's go. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel.
I found a God-waiting girl on the streets of Japan. It was late at night, and she said she had nowhere to sleep. She looked truly helpless, so I decided to help her.
I mean, she is a breath of fresh air. I don't know if this one's underage, but she has no stains or nothing on her shirt. Just look like she fresh out the shower and clothes out to dry, right? That don't mean nothing though, because looks are deceiving.
そうですね。今日も家から出
You're
て
still
帰
around
れ
here
ないで
today.
すか
Still doing.
ちゃんと晩ご飯食べたか？
いや、食べる元気がなくって。
それは絶対ダメよ。ちょっと私今ご飯食べに行くから一緒に行こう。
And see, what I'm not used to is men don't talk to women this way in the Western world. Guys are so thirsty, like, hey baby, what's your name is? Can I take you out to eat? You know, the old fast talking pimp. Yeah.
そうか。
いや、大丈夫です。
いや、それは全然気にしないで。もう早く一緒に行こうか。
いいんですか？悪いです。
いや、全然大丈夫ですよ。
If you're visiting Japan as a tourist, you'd better stay alert. If at night you come across a young girl crying alone in a corner of the street, she might be one of the so-called girls waiting for a god. The name sounds poetic, but...
And another thing, just because you see girls standing out those signs, that doesn't mean prostitution. Those are girls that work in bars, the all girls bars, and you have to pay to drink and socialize with them and shit. That's what that is. So don't assume that those girls standing out on the sidewalks with the sign of prostitutes. That's not what that is.
But the meaning is much more grounded. These girls aren't waiting for a divine being. They're waiting for someone who can offer food and shelter. And for that, this person becomes symbolically their god. Think about it. A young, homeless girl willing to go with you in exchange for nothing more than a meal, a safe place to sleep, and a hot shower. Does that really attract a good-hearted person? Or could it draw someone with much darker intentions? This topic was even portrayed in a well-known Japanese anime, Higehiro. In the story, a high school student named Sayu runs away from home and ends up being taken in by several men with whom she gets involved.
By several men. It sounds like she gonna have a train ran on her. That's what it sounds like. And that's what a lot of this is. Cause see, if this is going on, a lot of times this is how trafficking and shit starts. Exploitation. That's all this is. It's just another cover-up for prostitution. They don't want to say it on here, but that's what it is.
Until she meets Yoshida, a man who shelters her without expecting anything in return, becoming the only true god in the story. But the anime is just a reflection of something that actually happens in Japan. The 8-year-old girl, Aoyama, lived through it in real life.
What?
She told a journalist she left home after constant fights with her mother, who controlled her rigidly. After posting an online request for a place to stay, someone replied in less than 5 minutes and took her in.
Of course. The internet is a haven for perverts. There's a bunch of weird ass dudes on there, fat, musty nerd type dudes. Oh my God.
But, according to her, everyone who sheltered her demanded some kind of compensation, and you know what that means.
No kidding. You thought you were just gonna lay on your back for free and eat free meal? Oh my God. See, that's what's wrong with people. Everybody thinks something, everybody's trying to get something for free. You gonna have to do something. The girls that are doing this, they're gonna drop some draws or something to make up for all that.
These girls, being underage, can't get formal jobs. When the money runs out, some end up turning to places like the so-called encounter bars, where entry is free for women and men pay to interact with them.
That's why I don't go to clubs. It's like that here in America too. If I'm almost 40 years old, why the fuck am I going to these type of establishments when I'm seeing all these people getting for free and I gotta pay? What? Trust me, there's better places to go to than these nightclubs. And then plus, if you live in the Bay Area, you know there's not a lot of nightclubs like that that are actually booming, cracking like that anyway.
Food, lodging, and even phone top-ups are offered for free, but nothing comes without a price. The real purpose of these bars is to attract men by offering the presence of these girls. They chat, drink together, and if both agree, they may leave the place together.
And what is the likelihood of that? Like, that's the thing now, because see, as you get older as a man, you realize that almost everything is transactional, and you always have to ask yourself when you're dealing with shit like this, like going out to the club, what's the return investment on that? It's the same thing with paying for dating apps. What is the return investment? You're charging me to socialize with women just because they have a vagina between their legs? Like, what's the deal? Now, if I know for sure I'm going to get something out of it, of course I'm going to participate. But if I know that there's a less likelihood that I am, then I'm like, what's the point? I could do something else that's guaranteed.
Now you might be wondering, are there people who truly help these girls without hidden intentions? The answer is yes, but they're rare. In 2019...
Yeah, I was about to say that. It's rare. I'll say there's a 20% chance that they don't want nothing in return, but a lot of times, yeah. Like, what's the point?
A missing teenage girl was found in the home of a 7-year-old man. She wasn't alone. Another girl was there too. Both had posted online about wanting to run away from home, and the man responded offering them housing, food, and complete freedom. He let them use their phones, contact their families, and even browse the internet.
What the fuck? I mean, this is risky behavior on the man's part. It's risky behaviors for both the women and the men. The women are underage. The men are pretty much perverts. We don't know what they do for a living. And these are guys that are pretty much responsible and have high class, high socialization job titles. Like, these guys work in like large firms. So these guys had the money. That's not the problem. It's just that they're risking it all on an underage girl. Either party could get exposed. The girl could get exploited or the guy could get exploited. Put you on blast. Lose all your hard income.
His only request? That they study the real estate market, as he wanted to train them to work in his company. Still, he was arrested for sheltering minors without parental consent. In Japan, taking in minors without legal authorization is a crime, even if the intention is good.
Trafficking. Can you say trafficking? Yeah.
And between us, how many people would really do this out of pure altruism? There are over 30,000 runaway youth cases per year in Japan, but only 1 or 2 stories like this are ever heard of. Unfortunately, the most common outcome is that these girls end up with people who exploit them emotionally and financially. Some are secretly filmed and blackmailed. Others live in unsafe, precarious conditions.
Yeah, they leave home just to end up being exploited by some pervert, and then they end up in worse conditions than they were. And then they regret leaving home. Oh my God.
The girls waiting for a god usually begin as runaways, whether from family conflict, academic pressure, financial hardship, or plain teenage rebellion. According to Japanese media, over 33,000 minors run away from home each year. About 35% are found on the same day, 68% within a week. But
what the hell? Did you hear those numbers? So they're found real quick. So this excursion doesn't last too long. It's almost a waste of time. I mean, think about it. Japan's a small island. How far are you going to get?
more than 20% remain missing for months or even years. And without the ability to work, when money runs out, many girls have no way out and end up on the streets or seeking help from strangers, which gives rise to the girls waiting for a god phenomenon. But today, with the rise of social media, these girls no longer need to wander the streets hoping for help. They use apps and online platforms to find in advance people willing to take them in.
Yeah, so once their excursion of trying to get services from older men, what's going to happen is when they can't find anybody anymore, they end up exploiting themselves. Instagram models, OnlyFans. I don't know if they have OnlyFans in Japan, but I know China doesn't. The president just banned OnlyFans. But there's other platforms like these women, like half of the women that you see on social media are doing some kind of sex work. But it's a cover up for modeling, beauty pageants and all that. It's all sex work.
If you search for certain Japanese terms on social media, you'll find plenty of posts from girls in vulnerable situations asking for help. But it's important to remember, taking in minors without legal consent is a crime. And if anything happens even with the girl's consent, you will be held responsible.
But you guys like to think with your little man down there. Don't let your dick get you in trouble. It just amazing. Just remember, the average person is stupid. That's men and women. And while nobody's perfect, throughout your lifetime, you're gonna make a few stupid decisions that'll either get you in jail or just change your life in a negative way. But doing this shit ain't the way to go. Taking in minors, exploiting them. Can't do this shit in America.
There's
You can, but it's way more extreme than it would be doing it there.
another layer. Today, many of these girls are no longer just asking for help, they've entered the world of nightlife or alternative relationships. When a girl starts exchanging her presence or appearance for support, it often evolves into informal, unregulated work. The documentary Selling Youth shows how two teenagers eventually ended up in this world. At first, they only offered so-called schoolgirl walks.
I mean, my thing is, you don't have to pay taxes. So, to the women that are, to the older sex workers, that's why they're doing it, because they don't want to pay taxes a lot of times. They had the choices to live regular lives, or they have other things. Just look at it this way. Just because somebody's doing sex work, that doesn't mean that's all they have going for them. A lot of them have businesses and stuff. They run child cares. They run, they're accountants. It's like you don't know what these people have going on outside of the sex work. If you get to know them instead of judging them, you might find out the other shit that they do too.
Strolling with clients through busy streets, no physical contact involved. For that, they earned about 20,000 yen a day, nearly $150 USD. But over time, the clients started offering extra money for simple gestures like holding hands, hugging, or kissing. Step by step, these girls found themselves involved in much more serious situations. Here's the problem. In counter bars, JK walks, school uniform cafes, girls waiting for a god, they're all subtle ways to get young women to use their image as currency.
And that's our boy on the left, Nabita from Japan. Nabito, but he calls himself the Tokyo Reporter now, I think. Cool peeps, he's cool. I check out his content as well. But yeah. So basically, these relationships are transactional with these young girls. And see, there's a reason why that these quote unquote high value guys or high earning men do it. They don't want to deal with a bunch of bullshit from women their age. That's why they go younger. But going underage is just, that's doing too much. That's just going too far. That's going against the grain. Because a lot of these guys have children that same age of the girls that they're getting from the streets. So it's kind of disgusting.
These phenomena have always existed, but now they've become visible, undeniable social issues. You've probably seen videos of Okubo Park in Tokyo, where young women stand just meters apart, many with a clear purpose. Strange, isn't it? Family conflict, academic pressure, and teen rebellion exist in every country. So why does this happen so intensely in Japan? Studies suggest that the collapse of Japan's economic bubble in the 1992 deeply shook the country's family and social structure. Many families fell apart, and young people began fleeing en masse from small towns to big cities where the phenomenon is now concentrated. Without housing, jobs, or support, some find the streets or the internet as their only chance to survive. Today, the number of these girls has increased, and along with them, the number of night workers and homeless people in central neighborhoods. Social media videos show girls standing every few meters on the street. Some are college students, others recent grads. Some are already mothers. Most are between 20 and 40 years old. In the past, this was rare.
Well, it ain't the past no more. And as time goes on, financial issues become more of a problem. But see, Kookaburra Park, those women tend to be of age. And like the reviewer said, the original poster said that these are women that are in college, single mothers, versus the young teenagers that ran away from home. You see them sitting by themselves and not around anybody else.
Today, it's routine. The most visible reason is economic crisis and unemployment. But deep down, gender inequality and lack of real job opportunities for women as formal employees lead many to choose unconventional paths. And many of them don't even want to deal with agencies or companies. They prefer to stay on the streets, keeping a sense of independence, even at the cost of their own safety.
Yeah, they'd rather be freelancers than to deal with agencies. But see, and like they said, and that's how a lot of them end up getting abused, beaten, robbed. So it's a huge risk for them. These girls deal with a lot of weirdos. So the freelancers probably have it the worst.
The scariest part of all this is that no one seems to really care.
Nope.
These girls are no longer isolated cases. They've become part of the everyday scenery in Japan's big cities. They're just there, visible, accessible, silently abandoned, as if it were normal for a teenage girl to spend the night on a sidewalk waiting for a stranger. And the cruelest part? While they're looking for shelter, affection, or just a place to rest, many people see it as entertainment, as if their pain were just another controversial topic.
It's only entertainment if it's at a venue. How the hell is this a sort? Wow. So you turn isolated teenagers into escorts. Okay.
To debate on social media. But behind every forced smile, behind every school uniform or heavy makeup, there's a story filled with family neglect, moral collapse, and a society that would rather look the other way. The problem isn't just economic. It's cultural, structural, and above all, moral. Because when a girl learns that her body is more useful for getting a place to sleep than her intelligence, something has been deeply wrong for a long time. The term girl waiting for a god might sound poetic, almost
Girl waiting for a pervert. That's what it should have been called.
beautiful. But in practice, she doesn't need a god. She needs dignity, stability, a society that stops seeing vulnerable girls as merchandise or fetish. And the worst part? This doesn't just happen in Japan. This kind of abandonment, the idealization of female suffering, the illusion of freedom built on desperation is much closer to us than we think. Maybe the real question is, why does this story keep repeating itself? And why, deep down, does no one truly do anything to change it? What's your take on this dilemma? Do you think
My take on this dilemma is it'll never change. It'll never go away. Prostitution is the oldest profession known to mankind. No matter how much it's enforced by the law enforcement, it'll never 100% go away. Therefore, you just gotta go with it. This is Kyle Lavello. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.